What is the sickest burn you have seen a teacher give to a student? Student, can we postpone the math test? It's on my birthday. Teacher, well, unlike your birthday, this math test was planned ahead of time. Apostrophe. My high school math teacher had 3 adopted children. He was also the econ teacher. Bad move. But oh well. And one day he was talking about loan repayment, etc. He used the example of the loans that he'd gotten to pay the adoption costs for his kids, and quoted some ridiculously high number. I'm also adopted, and the number he gave was way higher than what my parents told me it costed to adopt my brother and me. I raised my hand and said this, and he goes, well, yeah, you were probably on sale. I laughed so hard I cried. He must have thought I was offended, because he felt really bad about it and apologized later. He was actually crying when he apologized, but I told him it was probably the funniest thing anyone had ever said about me being adopted. Why did I get an F on this assignment? Well, that was the lowest grade I could give you. Filing this one away for future reference. In history class, we're in the middle of an understandably somber section about the Holocaust and concentration camp conditions, and one student decides it'd be the perfect time to fire off a Jewish joke. The teacher just turned around slowly and said, "That's impressive." Student: "What's impressive, Mr. S?" "Well, here I'm talking about Mengele and Hitler, not to mention all of the other Nazis, and yet you somehow still managed to be the least likable person in today's class." Apostrophe. The PE teacher walked into the boys' locker room when my friend was giving another one gum and asked what drugs are handing there. Friend: "They're steroids. You want some? You look like you need them." Teacher: "No thanks. They don't seem to be working." Apostrophe. "What's sex ed?" said sarcastically by a 15-year-old in my class. Science teacher: "OHH, it's fine, you won't need it for another 20 to 30 years. The class was laughing the rest of the lesson. Student constantly skips class. Teacher: "Where's Justin?" Student: "I can call him if you want." Teacher: "Do it." Calls Justin. Teacher: "Hey, Justin, where are you when you should be in my class?" Justin: "You can tell he's a little freaked out." McDonald's. Teacher: "Pick up an application." Click. "I hope he doesn't burn the fries too. Should have gone to college. Hamburger University is, no lie, where they send their managers for training. There was a kid in my HS that did it. Now he owns like 5 McD's. We made fun of him, but he's laughing his ass off at all of us now." Student: "Trying to be intimidating. Don't get me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry." Teacher: "Nobody likes you anyway." Apostrophe. He tried to act tough using a comic book line. Context: student has turned in a lousy paper. Student: "Come on. I bet you did papers the night before when you were in college." Prof: "Yeah. But I'm smarter than you. I've said basically the same thing to my students. You can write a paper the night before if you've done all the research and other work. Basically, if you've become smart enough. If you're doing research the night before, you're fucked." Usually if I was writing a paper last minute, barring instances of just being overloaded with work, it'd be because I had been struggling to figure out what to do with the information I'd collected. My teacher was a bit sarcastic and would often joke with us. Both of these were about me, but I love them. 1. What is the difference between Gorham Rivers and a calendar? A calendar has a future. 2. Me reading a Snapple cap. The average human dream lasts 30 seconds. Teacher: "Oh, Gorham Rivers, you make it too easy." Me: "What do you mean?" Teacher: "If the average human dream only lasts 30 seconds, why are you still thinking of going to college?" Edit: my formatting sucked, so I made it suck less. Jesus, that second one. Wow. On my end of year report card that I had to take home to my parents, one of my teachers wrote, "I shall miss Goodly _Awful's cheerful presence in my class, as well as his ever more creative excuses for the non-production of work." I came back the next year after I got an A on the national exam for his class and caught him telling a group of prospective students, "If Goodly _Awful can ace this course, anyone can." James: Get away from that window. Everyone will think this is a special school. Hopeful voice. Special in a good way, sir. Freshman health in college. Professor is talking about cardio exercise and wants examples of them. Some kids blurt out sex, to which the professor replies, I don't think I'd consider 2 minutes of sex a cardiovascular workout. No more smart ass remarks from that guy. 9th grade biology. We are learning about how, when a sperm meets an egg, it creates a cell called a zygote. This girl raises her hand to ask, so do I have a zygote in me right now? He responds, I don't know what goes on in your personal life, Kelly. I had a teacher that would write ouch next to all my wrong answers on a test. You seem to be a bit of an intellectual snob. Your academic performance makes me wonder why. Whole class gasped. Student, I forget why. I'm going to be one of the people running the world. By then, I'm the future. Teacher, that's like reminding me that I'm going to die. Only more depressing. Apostrophe. A friend and I were visiting my English teacher after class, and my friend was showing her a picture of her shoes and making sure they were appropriate for graduation. Teacher, those are fine. I just meant, don't wear any hooker shoes. Me, AWW. I bought the cutest hooker shoes and now I can't wear them? Teacher, no. You'll have to save that for your job. Set my dumbass up on that one. Response, make better money than teachers at least. And probably have to deal with fewer dicks. Yeah, but you have to swallow a lot more than your pride in one job. So we are in Penn and our teacher is new to the school, but taught in juvie for a while and had several tattoos. So she played around with us, but in the end took no crap. We are sitting in the bleachers one day and she leans back and undoes her hair. She always kept it in a bun or something. One of the students, among the more rowdy of us, she tolerated him. Barely. Then shouts down at her, hey milliseconds. Name here. You look better with your hair down. She stops. Looks at him and goes, yeah. Well, you look better with my eyes closed. The bleachers erupted. I remember now one time in Penn high school. The pet teacher was kind of a hard-nosed jerk-off. But not so bad we couldn't put up with it. Usually pretty straight-laced too. One day he decided for whatever reason that he would allow the girls to skip the day's activity if they wanted. Now, you girls can play too if you want. Or you can just sit up on the stage. Every girl went directly to the stage. The pet teacher turned back to the boys remaining and said, fastest I've seen them move all year. Apostrophe. Classic gym teacher humor. One of my gym teachers used always say rattle rattle. Here come the cattle when he called us in. Kid was sticking an eraser in a Bunsen burner with a pair of tongs. Science teacher told him to stop because the fumes can give you brain cancer. Then she added, on second thoughts it's probably too late for you to worry about that. Apostrophe. Student's name. You're my second favorite student of all time. Everyone else is tied for first. In a sea of rude and offensive comments in this topic, this one was actually very clever and funny. It's actually a very old joke. Variations include we took a vote and voted you second best looking. Everybody else tied for first. Jonathan. You were one of the babies the Spartans would have thrown down the mountain. So I had a friend in HS who wore khaki pants and a collared shirt to school pretty much every day. One day he was leaning over some kid's desk helping him with something, and his ass sticking way out, just tempting someone to run over and smack it. And another friend, James, does just that. He runs over and lands a perfect, incredibly loud slap square on the butt cheeks on him that made him bolt to standing up immediately. Fortunately for everyone else in the class except for James, it wasn't my friend but the teacher, who also wore khakis and collared shirts to school every day. Everyone goes silent, and the teacher turns around, bright red, but with a big smile on his face, and says, James, save that for after class. Everyone bursts out laughing and the kid, of course, never lived it down. I had math last period, so we usually had the last few minutes to pack up and chill out. One girl, who would always be on her phone in class, calls to order food before she goes to work. The teacher took notice, and when she had to give her phone number to the place, he wrote it down. About a week later, when she was texting while he was lecturing, he just stops, goes to his desk, and calls her to tell her to get off her phone. The look of confusion on her face was priceless. I went to a college where we wore military-like khaki uniforms. For Halloween one year a buddy and I switched uniforms. He was a Marine that worked very hard at keeping his uniform absolutely perfect, and I was a slacker that wore more baggy versions of the required khaki. As we went to class, one teacher realized the switch, looked right at my buddy in my uniform, and said, "You fucked up already. You showed up on time. Good times." After a particularly bad group project presentation that basically just failed to touch on anything relevant to the core subject as reviewers, I asked you for a painting. You gave me a frame. That's a great metaphor. No, this was an art class.